Hey there, welcome back. So previously we have talked about different ways how to pay for dental school, and today we go a little bit more into detail about FAFSA. And FAFSA is really an essential funding tool which you could use to pay for expensive dental schools here in the US. So if you want to know more about it, then stay tuned. Alright, so again, right before we jump into the topic, I wanted to put out a disclaimer right here. I am not an expert. Everything that I'm sharing with you guys is just what I have researched myself and what I have found out myself, and I want to share it with you guys to make your lives easier. But to make sure that everything is correct, you always have to do your own research and look things up. Or you can contact FAFSA themselves. They have a very helpful customer service, so I can only recommend. I have called them myself multiple times. So, just so you are on the safe side. Alright, first of all, how to apply to FAFSA. You will have to go to studentaid.gov, and there you will have to create an account. That's very easy. You fill out all your personal information, and once you have done that, you can start a new FAFSA form. Unfortunately, I couldn't record the FAFSA form process because I've already submitted it for this following year, so it wouldn't let me fill out a new one. But I'm sure you guys will manage just fine. Just make sure you need to have your tax records or your financial records. If you have not paid any taxes last year, that's fine too. You can just check a box of I have not paid taxes. That's totally fine, because there's a lot of students that apply for FAFSA that have never paid taxes before and they still end up getting their FAFSA. So that's no problem at all. Once you have to select what kind of student you are, you do have to select professional student. There is an option between graduate, non-graduate, whatever. You are a professional student if you're like me. And then once you are selecting the academic year, make sure you select the upcoming academic year, the one that you're going to start in, not the year that you are in right now. Sometimes it's the same, sometimes it's not. It's really depending on when you are starting school. So that's a very common mistake. Make sure you avoid that. Then another thing that's very important is if you are married, you do have to provide some information about your spouse. You have to send them a link, and then they will have to go back to the website and kind of provide information about themselves and their financial situation, how much savings they have and stuff like that. By the way, you also have to do that. You have to provide some numbers of how much savings you have, how much you have in your bank account, in general your assets. So once you have done that, and once your spouse also has filled that out, then you can continue with the next step. So your spouse definitely has to, respond to the email that they get after you send them the link. If your spouse is American and if they have received FAFSA themselves, they will have to log in into their studentaid.gov account, and they will have to confirm some things. And don't worry about that at all. Just because they will be linked to your account does not mean that they have to be, financially responsible for you going back to school or anything. I think that's good to know too. As we have discussed previously, there's two types of loans which you will receive once you apply for FAFSA. The first one was the unsubsidized loan. The interest rates for this one is currently around 7 to 8%. And it does change every year. This interest rate will remain the same for the life of the loan. So it will never change. It will always stay between 7 to 8% or whatever your interest rate is at the time when you apply. The unsubsidized loan also doesn't require you to have any credit score, and they do not check anything financially. So you do not have to have any income whatsoever. Then the next loan that we were talking about is the Grad Plus loan. The interest rate for this one is usually higher. It's between 8 to 9%, but again, it does change every year. But this one completes the unsubsidized loan. So if you're only getting 20K from the unsubsidized loan, the rest of the tuition will be covered, or the rest of your cost of attendance will be covered by the Direct Plus loan. I know that the interest rate sounds high for the Grad Plus loan, but if you compare it to private loans, it's still lower. than what, private loans want you to pay in interest. Also, another good thing is the eligibility for the Grad Plus is way better. It's easier to get that loan than to get a private loan. The next important topic is disbursement, meaning how and when is the money getting paid out. Usually the money is getting paid out twice a year, once in the beginning of the year and then 6 months later, so you're not wasting all your money all at once. Usually you get it about a week or so before school starts. You will be able to pay your tuition, and the first money really does go toward the tuition. The tuition should be paid off, and then the rest of the money is going to be deposited to your account. That's why budgeting is really important. So you shouldn't waste all the money at once, obviously. It does have to last for 6 months until you get the next disbursement. So really make sure that you prevent overspending and really keep it to the essentials, like use the money for, living expenses like housing, food, also like transportation for your car if you need anything. You got to pay for gas, insurance, stuff like that. Don't just go and party and waste it on alcohol and drugs or something like that. I don't know what you're doing, but just try to be careful with that money, save as much as you can, and use it for important living expenses. FAFSA has also the option of forgiving a loan. And this is the case if you do something in public service. So it's called public service loan forgiveness. Meaning if you end up working in public health, or if you, start joining the military, there's also different ways of how your loan could be forgiven in total. There's also a lot of protections for you if you end up getting sick, disabled, or if you end up, dying. The loan will be forgiven as well. So this is a very good thing about the federal student aid. After you have applied for FAFSA, you should definitely also check out scholarships and grants. You can apply to those by contacting your financial aid office of your school, or you can also go to American Student Dental Association, and they have a bunch of grants and scholarships listed for you. So if anything of that applies to you, you should definitely send an application out. And as I said, it's like free money. You do not have to pay this back ever. Alright guys, so that was it for today. I hope this video was helpful. I tried to give you a little bit more details about FAFSA, and it is just a good option to pay for dental school. I have applied for it myself, and that's how I will ultimately end up paying for school. I know that they will cover all the expenses that I have, and I will not have to worry about anything. I will not be able to go to work. I know that dental school is very busy. You will definitely have no free time, so I'm very grateful that FAFSA is even a thing. If you do have any other questions, please let me know down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.